Hey there, folks. Welcome to Sector G, our live broadcasting venue here at PAX Prime. I'm your host, Chris Waters. Let me hear from the audience who's here eating a bunch of bacon and ready to watch a live show. That was way loud. I'm impressed. That was way louder than I expected. You guys are great. Joining me on the couch here, we got Justin Haywald and Peter Brown. Hi, guys.
We're big fans of bacon.
Buddy. Big fans of bacon? Yeah.
I'm more of a sausage man.
You're more of a sausage man?
Definitely more of a sausage man.
We can tell that by looking at you, Peter. So we're going to kick off the show today. PAX Prime usually not a place where like a whole ton of news comes out, but lo and behold, on Friday, Nintendo, was it a Nintendo Direct?
Yeah,
they always do the Nintendo Direct stuff.
It was a Nintendo Direct. It's not related to PAX at all. This came out before PAX, really, and this is a Japan-only event where they announced a new 3DS.
A new 3DS.
And it's literally called New 3DS.
No, it's not.
It is.
That's it? There's no letters after it or anything?
No, there are letters. So you can get a standard new 3DS or the new 3DS. Over there, the XL is called the LL. And so you can get the new 3DS LL. And it has some extra buttons.
Extra buttons?
Yeah, 2 extra shoulder buttons going to be on this thing. It has an extra analog nub.
Oh, okay. And you say nub, does that mean it's different from the sort of pad?
It's like, yeah, it literally is like a little rubber nub that's probably going to fit in the center of your thumb, and that's about it. You're just going to lord over it.
One of those things that used to be in like laptops?
Yeah, like on your old laptop.
Yeah.
And it's something that's made for the dual stick games that need that dual analog control, and one of them is Xenoblade.
Yeah, that the Wii U game from Monolith.
Oh yeah.
It's going to get ported, and it's only going to work on the new 3DS. And for Japan, they're going to get that really soon. It's coming out in October. America and the UK, maybe in 2015.
Maybe sometime in the future.
Well, they're probably going to see how well it does over there. Just see what kind of reception something like that gets. But it does have a faster processor. It's supposed to have better 3D from what we've been told, where, when you're holding your 3DS now, you have to like get that perfect angle, and then if you move your head slightly, you just get a massive headache. This one's supposed to just get that 3D effect no matter how you're holding it.
Oh, really? A little bit more
we
flexibility.
We haven't seen it yet, but...
Xenoblade, that was a huge RPG for Wii, and people loved that one. It was definitely beloved in the GameSpot office. You think it, that seems like a great thing to have on a portable handheld. It's, Monster Hunter has thrived on handhelds as well.
I prefer those longer experiences. On a handheld, something that you can take with you, that you don't have to worry about sitting in front of your TV for hours and hours.
Well, and the game is designed for it too. It has so many side quests. I want to say like a few hundred. And all of those will last you just about a few minutes, right? So you could just imagine playing one of those on the go, you're done, come back later.
Close the shell.
You're good.
Well, yeah. And one of the other reasons that they're going through this redesign is because you have those amiibo figures that are coming out really soon.
Yes.
And this one's going to have a built-in NFC reader. So right now for the regular 3DS, there's going to be an adapter that you'll be able to get in the US. And if you get one of the amiibos, I think it only works for Smash Brothers so far, you get the adapter and you'll be able to use it. But in Japan, you'll have a system that you just place it onto and it'll work right away.
Have the amiibos started rolling out yet? When do they release? Because we've been hearing about them for a while.
The release date right now is like tentative on Amazon. It's December 31st, 2014. So basically, no one knows yet.
Yeah,
it's going to be
not
sometime
this year.
No, I think
it's
it'll
possible.
Be this year.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we're just not positive when.
All right. Are you guys? So amiibos are the little figurines. What? They didn't talk too much about amiibos at the NFC event, but they did talk about a couple other games, right?
Well, so we have some games on the show floor, just like any other. Any of these other shows. We have a lot of E3 stuff, a lot of Gamescom stuff, and if you're on the show floor, everyone is playing Smash Brothers. That is, one of the most exciting games to play. But there's some other things to check out, and one of those is Hyrule Warriors.
Hyrule Warriors, yeah, they have a bunch of kiosks to play there. Has anybody here played Hyrule Warriors yet?
That guy has.
All right.
Oh, 2 guys.
What about Smash Brothers for the Wii U? You guys tried that out? Yeah.
More people.
A little bit more popular.
So to be completely honest, I hate Warriors games. When I used to be a reviews editor, and the Warriors games were the things that we gave people as punishment.
Really?
To review,
you were like vindictively like, listen, man, your last assignment was late.
Like you messed up.
You know what's going to happen. It's in your code of conduct.
You have to review the next Warriors game.
It's Warriors time.
But I'm actually a little bit more sold on this because it does have that whole Zelda trapping. And the thing that we got to do in this time, as you can see on the screen, was we got to play around with Ganon. Mm-hmm. And this was a free play mode. It's not necessarily a part of the story like this because you might see Link running around with you in some of these other sections. But you'll be able to go back to stages that you already beat, and once you unlock some of these characters, and one of them being Ganon, you can play through the game with him.
And take on a giant purple plant that barfs plants and is called Manhandia. Manhandla? Hey, anyways. So you got a chance to play it. Peter?
Yeah, well, I've played it in the past. I didn't play it at this show, but I mean, look, it really is a Warriors game through and through. It has a lot of the Zelda, like touches, like the music, like these little things that remind you of Zelda.
Yeah.
So that kind of is like a nice little thing that like draws out a Pavlovian response. But, I mean, you kind of have to have an affinity for this sort of game.
This sort of game being like, I'm a powerful hero pitted against endless hordes of enemies. I can just shred through them pretty easily.
Their AI,
for the most part.
That's
AI
a really
isn't
nice
really
way
there.
of saying button masher.
Yeah.
Sure. I like to use more words when less will do fine.
It's an interesting experiment, though, because Nintendo is not usually one to sort of lend out its properties. It's tried it in the past, but working with Koei is definitely unusual. But those games are really, really popular in Japan.
It's something we're probably going to see a lot more of. These brands going out to maybe be worked on by some other developers.
Yeah.
Well, we certainly saw it last week with the announcement of Pokken. Pokken?
Yep.
How do you
Pokken
pronounce
Tournament, which is Tekken plus Pokemon, so Pokken.
Yeah.
I assume. No comment.
But to be clear, there are no Tekken characters. It's not going to play exactly like Tekken, but it's made by the same team, run by the same director, Katsuhira Harada, and it's hitting Japanese arcades first, which is a really interesting thing. Nintendo rarely dabbles in arcades these days. I think maybe once in a while there's a Mario Kart or an F-Zero game, but it's super rare, so it's interesting.
And that's, you play as the Pokemon in a fighting game, but
Yeah.
that was, no one's gotten their hands on that yet. They just announced it recently.
No, it's only announced, and we're assuming it's probably only going to be fighting-type Pokemon. You're not necessarily going to be able to be Pikachu.
Nope, they said that's not true.
Oh, is it not?
Yep.
You get to be Pikachu.
Good job,
like
newsman.
like a big, muscly Pikachu.
Yeah, no, honestly, it's not just the fighting type Pokemon. That's what they showed off, probably just to give people a real sense for what the action's going to be like. But they were on record saying that no, we're going to be expanding just beyond those types.
I mean, I can't imagine you would launch a Pokemon fighting game and there would be no Pikachu.
Yeah,
I think it'll be like 4 Pikachu standing on top of one another.
like in a trench coat. Yeah.
Yeah, the Mega Chew. That's what it's called, totally. All right, so this is Hyrule Warriors. That's playable. Is this coming out this year, or is this?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's slated for.
I think it's coming. Yeah, coming this fall. People will be able to play it very soon. And this was also put together with Team Ninja, as you can see, maybe by the character design, and it's not totally standard Nintendo. Definitely,
We see a little Team Ninja influence there, maybe.
I think a small amount of Team Ninja.
It's not that small,
You
Justin.
might be able to tell what part they had a hand in influencing there.
Not the small parts. But they're Team Ninja is sort of a combat focused studio.
Yeah.
Like they're fighting. I guess would be their contribution.
They're
as
definitely
well.
known for fighting and for things like Dead or Alive.
Yep. Yes, they are.
Yeah.
So Hyrule Warriors is out on the PAX show floor. Folks can play it here. What else? What's another sort of game they got out there? There's one called Fantasy Life.
Fantasy Life, yeah. This is
All
like
right.
this is a game from Level 5, I believe.
Oh,
Is that
really?
correct?
Level
Being
5.
developed by, it's being published by Level 5 and
Published by
Nintendo,
them. Okay.
and developed by Brownie Brown. They're one of the guys
okay.
who did the Layton section, the RPG section of one of the Layton games.
Uh-huh.
They also helped develop Mother 3.
Yeah, they made a Mana game on Game Boy Advance when that first came out.
So they have a really good pedigree of making these fun RPGs. And when you're playing it, there's a game that came out recently. I don't think it really resonates with our readers. Disney Magical Life, though,
Disney
is a lot of
Magical
fun.
Life. That sounds wonderful. Who doesn't want to live the Disney Magical Life?
This is like that, but with a more standard fantasy type trappings where you can take on different classes and be, a warrior or a paladin or maybe a cook or a blacksmith.
So in this gameplay footage, the person just changed their life to a blacksmith.
Yeah, you're literally living out a fantasy life.
It's that easy.
Yeah, just like in real life, you decide I want to be a paladin today. Guess I'll be paladin, and it kind of borrows some stuff from Final Fantasy XI, where you can take on these classes and level up in them, and then when you want to change over to something else, you still have some of the abilities from there, but you're not going to lose all of the progress that you already made. So you'll start from level 1 as a cook, but you still have all the stuff that you did as a paladin.
You're not gonna, and then if you choose to be a blacksmith, you're not gonna forget how to make lasagna.
Yeah.
Right. So is it like Animal Crossing-esque at all in terms of the sort of day-to-day, just doing tasks around town kind of thing, or are there adventures to go on if you're an adventurer?
I guess you could call it like an Animal Crossing RPG, because there is a combat element. There are things to do outside of just the Animal Crossing being more of a life experience.
There's
This
Cooking
is more of
Mama.
this is more of a game. There is a Cooking Mama type aspect where if you're the blacksmith and you're going to make your sword, you do have to do some timing type events to get it just right, and if you do it really well, it'll have like a little star thing that came up with like, oh, you made a really good ladle.
Delightful. And then you decorate your home, Peter. I know you're huge on interior design.
Oh, don't get me started.
So this one, another 3DS game. Is that slated for release this year? Is that recently announced?
No, it's not recently announced. This has actually been out in Japan for the last year.
I'm really up on my Japanese game releases, as you can tell.
But it's something that I think will resonate. We'll find an audience here in the States. It's coming out in October. I'm personally excited, like as someone who put hundreds of hours into Animal Crossing, which I probably shouldn't admit out loud, I'm very excited to play this, but probably not a game for everyone. I mean, you can look at it and see like, oh, it's kind of cartoony. If you're into that kind of collecting and maybe playing with friends and trading stuff.
If you're into fun things, maybe you'll like it.
Do you like fun?
Yeah.
I mean, there is the whole not a game for everyone. There's no game that's for everyone.
Well, when I say that,
Except
I mean...
for Tetris. If you don't like Tetris, go home and
There's
and
a
die.
distinct lack of decapitations. There's probably very little blood coming out when you slice through people. You're not allowed to slice through people.
No, I mean, it doesn't seem like a real slice through people kind of game. What, we see some mining going on? Yeah.
Get to explore caves and forests.
That
and
ore.
Lots of enemies and things like that to fight. It's an interesting mix of genres that I think it'll be a lot of fun.
Neat. All right, so some Nintendo games on display here. New 3DS coming down the pipe. What do you guys think of sort of Nintendo? What are you looking forward to in the Nintendo verse over the coming months? Like, you down with some Bayonetta 2, or are you looking forward to getting your Smash on? Anything personally exciting for you guys?
Well, Smash is of course the dominant game. When you come to something like PAX, even at E3, like just seeing the level of excitement, the number of people just gathered around these stations. It's going to come out on 3DS first, which is not, it's not the best version of the game. Like we're definitely holding it. We're still waiting for that Wii U version, but 3DS is still a lot of fun.
I mean, you get around. It's like we get around to play Mario Kart. We get around to play Smash. But I feel like the screen size challenge, you probably want an LL for that one, or XL.
Yeah, XL is going to help a lot. And it's just such a wide array of fighters. I know some of them have been leaked. We're not totally sure how much we can trust those reports that have come out, but they look really realistic. And one of those that came out was the Duck Hunt Dog.
The Duck Hunt Dog.
And I don't know if this is true or not, but I'm really excited to play as the Duck Hunt Dog if this is real, because I heard someone saying like he's a dog that you run around and you can throw ducks at people, and I imagine his final smash is going to be like having the reticule on screen and being able to shoot at people.
And then at the end, he just comes up and goes, woohoo!
But it's such a ridiculous thing. Like
smashes everyone
as a
around.
kid, like Smash Brothers is a ridiculous game, and like that just cements it.
Gloriously ridiculous. What about you, Peter? Anything on your radar?
You know what, man? I just want more virtual console games. Nintendo
Yeah?
did such a good job on the Wii, and like they're kind of getting better at doing it with the 3DS now. The Wii U is still flagging. I just want the entire library back. I know there's a lot of licensing issues, but yeah, I'm a big fan of Nintendo's legacy stuff and the games that were built for their system. So personally speaking, their big stuff is okay. I'm not the biggest Smash fan, but I think, man, if they spent more time on their virtual console, maybe they wouldn't be in so much trouble financially. I'm just saying.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, people love the old Nintendo stuff. Bring it out try it out on the virtual console.
Well, and they have the second screen experience with the Wii U controller. It's perfect for that. Like it's a massive screen you can play these little games on. You can
What
take
they
anywhere.
need to do, they need to integrate these systems together so that if you buy a game on the 3DS, it's going to carry over to the Wii U. You don't have to buy like 3 copies of Mega Man.
You know what they might do, and I'm saying this only because it has all the extra buttons and the analog stick. They might phase out the gamepad from the Wii U and make the new XL an optional gamepad.
An optional gamepad for the Wii U. I like the way you think.
It's got a stronger CPU. It's got more buttons. What more do you need?
You just need more buttons.
No, but seriously, and it's got like a really nice dock that they were showing as well. If they do that, I'll be really excited about that because I want a Wii U, but I kind of don't like the gamepad in its current iteration.
Yep.
So it was really funny when they announced it. Peter, I showed Peter as well, and he was like, "Oh, that looks really cool." And then they showed the dock. He was like, "Oh my God, did you see that dock? That is so hot."
I'm a sucker for docks. What can I say? I love docking.
Docks from Nintendo for the new 3DS. Justin Haywald, Peter Brown, thank you guys so much for chatting a little Nintendo. I'll release you into the PAX Wilds to play games or
eat some
board
bacon.
games or try to get more pins. I know you're a pin chaser.
I am. That makes it sound dirty and wrong.
It is a little dirty, but not wrong.